Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, happy Tuesday ho mga kaibigan. Welcome mo sa ating program. Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN dito po sa Legal Advice Corner. It's a wonderful Tuesday evening. Alas 6 pa lang ho rito sa United Kingdom pero akala nyo alas 3, alas 4 ng hapon dahil matingkad pa ho ang araw. Summertime, no? Kapag summertime ho rito sa United Kingdom, mahaba ho ang araw, no? Napakaaga pa lang, madaling araw napakaliwanag na ho, parang kala nyo 6, 7, 8 o'clock na ho, no? So, magandang gabi ho, welcome to the program, SONNY LARAGAN ho, dito sa Legal Advice Corner, and we talk about the law, no? Dito sa UK ho. So, kung meron kayong mga kaibigan na nais ninyong makapanood ho, i-share ho ninyo ito, no? Ito ang ating programa. So, syempre, kasama natin yung ating pinakamamahal, no? Beauty and Brains ho, kompleto ho ito. Abogada ho natin to, and she is now the managing partner of DV or Deo Volente Solicitors. Mga kaibigan, yung pinakamamahal ho nating abogada, walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA QUINTO. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo. Oops! Ayan, alright. Napapasayaw tayo ulit.
Tayo, paborito natin yung tune na yan. Thank you so much, Mr. Laragan. Magandang gabi. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Hintayin ko lang muna. Ayan, okay na. Ready na tayo. May signal na tayo sa ating technical na okay na tayo. Yes, Attorney, good evening.
Good evening. Take two po tayo. Magandang
Take
gabi sa inyong lahat. Good evening, UK. Good evening, Europe. Good evening, rest of the world. It's a happy Tuesday once again. At happy pa rin tayo kahit na it's not coming home.
Yes, oh.
It's gone to Rome para sa mga taga-England. It's been what? Ito yung mga pinag-uusapan for the last 2 days. We've been talking about it last week. We talked about it everywhere. Siguro kahit saan man kayo sa UK. You would have probably heard of the finals last Sunday, and kung hindi nyo man nabalitaan, hindi po tayo nalalo. So,
yeah.
Kaya, pero masaya pa rin tayo. I don't know about you, Mr. Lara. I thoroughly enjoyed the first half of the game.
Sayang,
Hindi ako football fan, pero...
Oo. Sumakit na lalamunan ko. I was really cheering. I was so... Gusto ko ma-feel yung parang, although dadalawa lang kami, no, ni Sol, gusto ko ma-feel yung atmosphere. Di ba minsan pina-flash yung mga different places, mga pubs, mga watching areas, no? Oo, nakikita mo pag may score, talagang nagwawala sila. So, ganun din ako. Pagka, lalo na first few minutes, di ba? So, ayan. Teka, ano ba yan? Sila.
Tumatawag siya na si Harry King.
Anonymous, Attorney. Hindi ko kilala si Anonymous, Anonymous,
gusto mag-comment about it's not coming home anymore.
Bakit Anonymous ang tawag? Minsan nakakataka. Ikaw ba sinasagot mo yung no-caller ID?
Depende. Meron ako isang friend na alam ko siya yon. So,
okay.
sometimes I would know that would be her. But not normally, actually. Not normally. So, yeah.
Pero Anonymous kasi yung Anonymous yung number. I'm wondering why Anonymous. Minsan nakakatakot sagutin kasi minsan pre-recorded.
Marketing siguro.
Marketing or pre-recorded na minsan ganyan. Kung ano mga warning, no? Ingat kayo mga kababayan. May mga links na ibibigay sa inyo. For example, ito lang nakakaasar eh. Minsan, attorney, di ba? May mga, I don't know kung sa katangahan ba o wala lang din magawa. Gusto maghanap ng madadamay. May mga, sometimes, may mga friends tayo, kakilala, o even hindi kakilala, magpo-forward ng, alam mo, ano yun eh, virus or phishing or whatever, di ba? Minsan, by parang click this, watch for this, ganyan eh. Oo. Ingat ho tayo, ingat tayo. Kung pwede nyo tiisin, huwag tignan. Kung feeling nyo hindi ho, ano, you know, wag ho natin, ano, lalo na social media ngayon, daming naloloko. Usong-uso, attorney, I don't know if you know this, yung ano ano ba to, ano ba yung isa sa virus, may isa pa ano ba tawag doon? Yung malware yata, oo, parang sa America and some other companies, naba-blackmail and they're na yung kanilang mga computers na hack, napapasok. Ransomware, ransom something, ano ba tawag doon?
Yeah, that's right.
And they pay, yeah?
It's
And they
everywhere.
pay.
Yung cyber attack po, it's everywhere. We've been, kahit kami as firms, we have to prepare we have to ensure na address namin yung mga risk na yun. And kahit sa ang parte ng buhay, from all walks of life, kahit na simpleng email lang or simpleng social media na link to organizations being targeted, talagang iba na ngayon ang iba na ngayon ang mga krimen at iba na ngayon yung ways to get money, to blackmail organizations into sabi mo, holding information for ransom kasi nga ngayon information is key, information is gold. Yan na ngayon ang natin sa digital revolution. So it's a very different world. It's a very a different we have cryptocurrency, we've never heard of that 20 years ago, Bitcoin, etc. So maraming mga kayamanan na umiikot-ikot sa internet at sa impormasyon. So, ingat tayo sa mga sinisena. And this is a public service advisory as well. If you're dealing with a solicitor, if you're buying homes, or even if not you're buying them, you're just sending monies sa mga organizations, not necessarily abogado lang. So there are instances where you would be sending monies to other organizations. It's most important na i-double check po natin kung ano yung bank account nila. So kahit na makareceive kayo by email na paki-send yung bank detail, yung monies dito sa bank account na to, please call that person to verify those bank accounts. Kasi sobrang high-tech na po ngayon na kaya nilang, yung tawag na phishing, they can hack into it, they can change bank details. So public service advisory, we always say to our clients, we don't change our bank account details. So, but even so, bago po kayo mag-send ng malaking pera or kahit hindi malaking pera, please call them. Check ko lang ha, ito ba yung bank details nyo? Please, can you double check that? Also, marami na ngayon sa mga bangko, they would have a bank account name verifier. So, NatWest, I think that would have something like that. So make sure that you go through the process of that. Yung magsisend kayo sa online banking, bank name match with this bank details. Pag sinabing hindi, extra ingat. Kahit sinabing match siya, it's always good to just follow. Ito ba talaga yung bank details mo? Paki-double check lang ha, send ko. So, public service advisory po natin yan. Di lang sa mga abogado, everywhere else. If you're doing online transactions, if you're doing banking transactions, check nyo po na you are sending the monies to the right bank details. So, we'll start with that. Bago tayo mag-roll call na naman ng mga ating mga ka-remote supporting bubble.
Yes. Wait, attorney, parang mahina. One more week? One more week kasi Monday next week yung ating parang actually alanganin pa tayo because there's an increase of di ba? Yung mga cases. Di ba? Hindi naman biglang bumaba masyado. Ang deaths natin, nasa hundreds din yata itong nakaraan, di ba? Ilan ba ang deaths natin?
Sorry, I was just saying.
Mahina po ba yung volume?
No. It's your internet earlier na nagiging parang fuzzy yung video mo for a while. it became fuzzy, no? Oh.
Yeah, nag-ano lang
But,
kanina. I don't know.
yan, kamakaya, bumabalik ko lang yan. Bumabalik attorney. Ayan, nagiging hindi ka clear. Yan. Can you see it? Can you observe it?
Temperamental ang internet ngayon.
Ayan. Oh, di
May,
bale. Okay. Well, teka muna. Yan nga, yung ingat lang ho tayo sa mga postings or anything na or sinishare sa atin sa mga emails din. Ingat ho tayo. I know, hindi lang, pera pwede tayo. At the same time, yung mga computers ho natin, nagiging useless lalo pag meron kang malware virus, di ba, attorney? Kung huwag ko kayong basta-basta mga nagkiklik at ingat-ingat lang talaga. Minsan tempting yung nakikita nating mga nakapost o pinapakita, but you have to be very careful. You have to be able to sense. Kung pwedeng tiisin na lang ninyo, it wouldn't kill you kung parang tempted kayo pero nagdududa kayo. It's better wag na lang, no? Mahirap talaga, no? Pagka lalo na kung nahack kayo. But going back to the ang ginagamit ng mga hackers ngayon, ginagamit nila, attorney, Bitcoin, para kasi hindi ba traceable. Ganun ang sinisingil nila doon sa mga companies na kanilang parang ransom, no? Ransom, ano ba tawag dyan? Ransom, cyber something So, yun.
Yes.
They make use of Bitcoin instead of money, no? Bitcoin ang pinapaano nila. Ngayon, bumaba ang Bitcoin from $60,000 one Bitcoin, bumaba na sa mga 32, 34.
Yeah,
no?
that's right.
Inabot ko pa.
I think umpisa pa lang ang cryptocurrency. I think in the same way as internet started in 70s or 80s. I think marami pang metamorphosis yan. It's not that it's bad or it's good. It's evolving. It is what it is. Talagang, I think Bitcoin is going to be around for a while. Hindi man siguro yan ang magiging final na anyo niya or, in terms of verification process, marami nagsasabi kailangan pa i-verify, kailangan ma-trace natin and yung security-wise. But I think, just like a lot of technologies, it will still evolve. It will be here to stay. And people will use it for good and bad, just like everything else.
May bitcoins ka ba, attorney? May bitcoins ka? May bitcoins ka?
But I follow.
You follow. Ano yan? Bitcoin,
Ethereum.
Ganyan.
Ethereum. I follow the news a little bit. Yeah.
Ganun ba? Yan it started, nandun sa 30s, even yung nasa 5,000 yung mga dollars per inabot yata nung mga 4,000 yung Ethereum, mas bumaba, nagkasabay-sabay nagka-ano ngayon. Pero it's gonna be
last month may problema ata. There was a bit of an issue.
April and May.
FBI.
A lot of things. A lot of China, yung mga Bitcoin miners, medyo parang pinalalayas ng China. Huwag kayo rito, labas kayo. So that has affected the price of it. And then Elon Musk saying na he wouldn't be accepting. Initially, he said, I'm gonna accept Bitcoin payments for Teslas. Yung mga, if you buy the Tesla, yung mga, di ba, yung mga electric cars, EVs. No? Pero sabi niya later, hindi na. Dahil kasi nga, it spends a lot of money, mga computers, di ba, kuryente. So, kailangan ng green way of trying to mine yung Bitcoin. Anyway, attorney, hindi sa mga pagbati natin, teka muna, I came from Lake District, no? We mentioned in the past, yung mga 3 peaks yata, attorney, Ben Nevis, Snowdonia ba, at saka yung Escafil Pike ba? Escafil something?
Correct, yes.
Napuntahan mo na ba yan? Napuntahan mo na Escafil ba?
Napuntahan ko na.
How long did it take you to go up? Mga kaibigan, Scaffold ho, nasa one of those mga peaks. Meron yata silang parang challenge na in 24 hours, ginagawa nila yung tatlo, Ben Nevis, ano ba ito, Scaffold, and then yung Snowdonia. Napuntahan mo na ba yung tatlo na yun, attorney?
Yes, opo. Napuntahan ko na yan.
As in, naakyat mo na baba mo?
Opo. Yeah.
Wow! Ang bigat mo naman. Mga kaibigan, we have to talagang saluduhan to si attorney because it's no mean feat. Pag akyat mo lang yata. Kasi I was looking at you have to have a compass. May compass ka ba? O may grupo kayo?
Hindi, may guide po kami.
May guide kayo?
May guide po kami.
Alright. Okay.
May guide po.
Ano yung hinahire guide para samahan kayo? Makiat ganun? Saan to, attorney? Saan to, attorney? Sa Ben Nevis o di sa Scaffel? Sa...
No, may isa pong company who'd do it. There's a few companies that's what they do. They would say this is the 3 weeks challenge. We have a guide. May van sila na provide, and all you need to do is go up and down. And that's mostly how it's done, ha?
Okay.
If you're driving as well, and if you're guiding, hindi talaga, it's not. If you're driving, it's really not. In my opinion, hindi siya safe. You're very tired. You're going up and down. You don't have any sleep. You shouldn't really be driving. In my opinion.
Kasi sometimes they would start
In my
5 o'clock in
opinion.
the afternoon.
Personal opinion. Kung nagawa mo, good for you. It's an achievement. But you shouldn't really.
Have you done the 24-hour challenge, attorney?
Yeah.
Wow! Galing mo naman. Kasi I think nakita ko yung para itinerary. It starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and finishes at 5 o'clock the following day yata, di ba?
No, we had it the different way around. We started very early to Ben Nevis. And then we ended up the next day in the morning sa Snowdonia. So you can do it a lot of ways. But you're not going to get any sleep. You're not going to get much food in. It's very much an endurance race. It was pretty painful. It's okay. It's good. It's doable. It's doable. But that made me want to do an ultra marathon. Nung nagawa ko yun, doon talaga I like endurance. It's fun. It was fun.
And then from the ultra marathon, you now challenge yourself to do a month's Ramadan ba yun? Pangalan, fasting, no? So, gano'n, may mga challenges, no? Ang bigat mo
naman. Ay, kwento ko po, nung nag-24 hours ako, ang kinakain ko lang, talagang hindi na ako kumain ng KitKat Chunky mula nung. Pero KitKat Chunky lang talaga yung kinakain ko buong, kasi hindi,
all the way. Energy.
Hindi ako makakain ng totoong pagkain. Hindi ko na, may pagkain ako, but I can't, I wasn't comfortable. Parang isusuka ko kung mabubusog ako. I'm just trying to stop up yung sugar ko. So I've been eating yung kumbaga sa akin, comfort food ko at that time was KitKat Chunky. At siguro, Mr. Laragan, siguro months ko hindi kinain or siguro isang taon ko hindi kinain yung KitKat Chunky ka dahil halos masuka-suka na ako sa KitKat Chunky.
Sino
kami KitKat Chunky para trauma ako pag nakita ko KitKat Chunky sa dalawa na akit mo tayo.
Ano yun? Sarili mo baon niyo, attorney, o dala rin ng mga kasamahan mo? Siyempre, you have to prepare, di ba? So when you were preparing, you were thinking na dadaling ko puro chocolates?
No, you do what you need to do to survive, really. Depende
So, how were you traveling? Light, may tubig ka ba? Inumin? So how were you traveling? Bigat ng backpack mo habang o doon na kayo umiinom sa sasakyan?
You're only going up for 5 hours. So talagang dapat may tubig ka. With any hiking, kailangan whether 2 hours or 3 hours, 24 hours man. You always have to have at least the basics. Kasi just in case may mangyari sa taas, so you have to have food, water, and outdoor
first aid
gear.
Kit? First aid kit? Meron din?
Ben Nevis was very, very cold. July na po yun. Ben Nevis was freezing up there. So you have to be very prepared. Kahit sa tingin mo, 3 hours lang yan. Because Scaffold Pike only took us 3.5 hours. I think we were in the middle of the night.
3.5 hours return or 3.5 hours one way? Return now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, teka mo, hindi mo na-enjoy kung dumating kayo ng madaling araw, wala kayo nakikita.
Wala. Well, yung Scaffold Pike, it was a midnight summit. Wala. Nakita ko nakita ko po yung sunset. It was very beautiful. Tapos wala na ako nakita.
Sunset on the way up.
Sunset on the way up.
All right.
It was about 9 o'clock. Maganda, sobrang ganda. On the way down, wala na ako nakita. Pero ang dami pong umaakyat. Nung pababa pa lang kami, ang daming umaakyat.
Have you ever tried your cell phone?
It wasn't really... Pardon?
No, sorry. It wasn't... No, I just wanted to ask kung meron bang signal dun o walang signal dun? Cell phones.
There are areas may signal and walang signal. So this is generally a hiking advice. Wag po kayong na parating may signal. There will always be areas in the UK. What I found from hiking is that may areas may signal May areas na walang signal. So, what you do really when you're hiking is you have to conserve yung energy ng battery mo. Kasi minsan mas mabilis siyang mawala kung naka-on siya.
Naka-on lang,
Because of
oo.
the illness. So,
Kasi kung kailangan
lalo na
mo,
kung
di ba?
winter hiking.
Kasi kung kailangan mo, if you have an
don't
emergency.
Exactly, you don't necessarily. It's for emergency. The phone is for emergency. So I try not to. You try not to. Try to take photos, pero hindi siya on. Or may spare phone ka. So don't expect na lahat may signal. May mga areas po sa UK, hindi naman makataas, pero walang signal. And then may mga areas naman na mataas and may signal ka. It's very good. Kasi when I reached Snowdonia, which is my third summit in the 24 hours. I called friends. I promised to call friends if I reach the third one in good health. So I said I reached it. I called. I managed to. It's good. Masaya mamundok sa UK kasi malamig.
Ilan kayong namundok, bale?
About 10 siguro, 8 or 10.
Maganda. Good company na. Marami na, no? At least marami na, no? So you wouldn't advise us, for example, Sol and I would do it on our own. Delikado, no? Baka maligaw kami. Baka instead na, kunyari, escapel.
Yes. There are two risks. The first one is baka maligaw kayo. Because you need to have a some navigation skill, map reading skill and navigation skill. Possibly may good chance na maligaw kayo because at some point in that adventure, may wala nang light. You'll have to find your way na madilim.
Okay.
The second way is sino magdadrive kung pagod na po kayong dalawa. So that's really the other risk.
Kasi merong driving hours 5 hours, mga ganun, may mga distance pa di ba? Mga 5-hour drive or mga... Oo. Pero
so driving, wala nga yan yung magdadrive ka nga ng 5 hours, pagod ka pa, dagdagan mo pa ng mga about 10 hours of hiking.
Hiking, oo. Okay.
Although, really, for me, and a lot of people, they don't really recommend na hiker ka, driver ka pa. Get the driver and
if you're doing the 3 peaks, no? Pero kung you're just doing one, okay lang yun, no? Kung to experiment.
Wala problema. Yes.
Can you do it, Can you do it straight away? O ang suggestion mo ba, do it one at a time and then probably later on do the challenge? Parang let's say, itong week na to, punta ka niya ng Ben Nevis. Or later on, the next following week, Scafell. The third is Snowdonia, ganyan. O mas mabuti ng isang gawa nila yun?
It depends. We call it yung base fitness mo. If you've been doing marathons and you're really, really fit, sobrang athlete ka, Olympic athlete ka, you're at the height of your fitness, I don't think it will be a problem na straight away mag-3 peaks ka. If this is another boot camp for you, walang problema yan. If you're coming from absolutely no activity at all, walang physical activity, ang mas mabuti dyan is you train a bit sa hill walking, may konting experience. You don't necessarily have to go through yung tatlong mountains. What you need to have is an experience lang kung ano yung what we call a full day out. So you're gonna have 5 to 8 hours being up there in the elements. Kasi na-experience ko po hail, really strong winds, rain, and uminit, lumamig, four seasons talaga. It's very much very, very English. So yung cold ngayon, be prepared to encounter not adverse weather conditions. That's one of the things that you kind of don't want to be shocked about kasi isa yun eh. And also blisters yung having to be on your feet for 8 hours. Have you done that before? 5 to 8 hours? Is that something that you're used to? If you're used to walking, you're used to being that tired. Marami sa atin, physical yung trabaho, so you're quite used to walking up and down the stairs. So that's not a problem. Wala naman po problema yung altitude dito kasi hindi naman po mataas yung mga bundok natin dito. I think dito ang talagang kalaban mo ang weather. Malamig sa malamig and maulan. Maulan po maulan yung tatlong lugar na yun. So,
Okay,
very,
okay.
very
Okay. Meron bang all-weather na suot ba? Meron parang yun ang isuot mo, halos covered na lahat ng mga weathers?
With hiking, how you do it is you do layering.
Mhm.
So you have your base layer. Kasi hindi naman yun minsan and karamihan after a certain period of time of going, continuously going up sa mountain, maiinitan ka na eh. So you want to regulate your body temperature as well. So you don't want to be wearing very, very hot clothing all the time. What you want is to be able to be flexible sa clothing mo. So, pwede mong tanggalin yung isa para malamigan ka ng konti. Lagay mo yung waterproof mo. Kapag umuulan na, tanggalin mo pag hindi kailangan para komportable ka. So,
Layering, eh?
The trick with clothing is layering. So, karamihan yan, 3 o 4 yung layers. And you put it on, you take it off according to your comfort level. So, yung kahit ngayon, kung meron kang 60, yung may sobrang grabe na wind and hail, be prepared na kahit ano pa man yung suot, mababasa ka talaga. Mababasa ka talaga. Talagang hindi mo, you can't escape the weather sometimes.
Okay, so layering is the secret to it, no? Pagka lang, no? Yung pang-ulan mo, pang lahat, no? Taking off pagka lang. Okay. Okay, greetings tayo, attorney. May mga pagbati tayo sa mga kaibigan natin. Hulaan mo, last week sino yung number 1 natin, attorney?
Ang 4 na linggo na po siyang number 1, si Marian Galicia Panera.
4 na linggo na?
4 na linggo na siya. 4 na linggo. At hinahabol siya ng isa. Hinahabol siya ng lahat ng mga tao to get here. Hinahabol siya ni Oliver Fernandez.
So sino sa palagay mo, sinong ngayon sa walang I don't know kung nasilip mo, pero who do you think
Hindi
is
ko nasilip, promise.
sige. Sino palagay mo, si pa rin ba, si Marian Galicia Panera pa rin ba, or meron ng umagaw na kanyang trono trono sa ngayon? Sino kaya sa palagay mo?
No, I think si Marian Galicia Panera.
Si Marian pa rin. Siya pa rin. Hindi, last Thursday na rin siya, na-dislodge ba siya, nasaan siya sa kanyang trono. We have Oliver Fernandez. Attorney, pakibasa. Sige, pakibasa, attorney.
Good morning from the evergreen state of Washington, watching through FB from the city of Everett. Hello, Attorney Donna and Tia Sonny. Galing! Ayun, nanalo na si Oliver.
Naka-isa ka, Oliver, ha? Ang nakatalo, yan, si Oliver Fernandez. Oliver, mabuhay, ha? Okay, ito na yung ating second lang siya, second placer for today. Na-dislodge.
Marian Galicia Paner. Hello po, magandang gabi po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Dana at sa lahat. Happy Tuesday po and stay safe and God bless. I'm watching from Cheltenham, England.
Yes,
Marian, I'm so sorry, runner-up ka na.
Runner-up pa ngayon, but anyway, it was consistent 4 weeks in a row kay Attorney Dana. At who knows, next week baka maibalik niya yung trono niya, no? As the number 1 first placer natin sa show. Ayan, watching from taga Paris yan.
Watching from Paris to Felibes Monteverana. Paano ba na sa Bonjour.
Yeah. Kilala ko to, attorney. She works in an embassy, hindi ko alam kung anong embassy sa Paris, France. And she used to be my angel ko yan eh. Hindi ko alam kung white angel or blue. I had many angels before. May blue angel, may yellow, may iba-ibang angels eh. And she was one of my angels sa show ko, sa SONNY LARAGAN show. So mabuhay ka, Feli. Ano nga palang angel, Feli? Nakalimutan ko na, no? Feli Basmontes sa Paris, France.
Parisian angel yan.
Parisian angel, yes.
Parisian. Ma'am Cora Carsola na parang ganda ng attorney Ma'am Cora Carsola. Hello, Sir Sonny, Attorney Dana and all. Masayang gabi. Masayang gabi po. Ma'am Cora Carsola.
Ma'am Cora, mabuhay ka. We love you, no? At least yan. Damer ho kasi yan, mga kaibigan, na nagturo ho sa Notre Dame of Manila sa amin sa Pilipinas, no? Ayan. Seth, yan. Attorney, yes.
Hi, si Seth and Val. Good evening, Sir Sonny and Attorney Donna. Good evening, Seth. Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi.
Ayun, ito, si Ma'am Emmeline.
Yes,
Ma'am Emmeline si Ma'am Cora.
si Ma'am
Si Emmeline pala.
Evelyn.
Oh, kasi magkasama yata yung dalawa na yan eh. Kaya yes. Hmm.
Naka-all cap si Ma'am Evelyn. Good. I think that's good evening. Good evening, Sir Sonny. And good evening, Sonny and Attorney Donna. Happy Tuesday to you both and everyone. Happy Tuesday, Ma'am Evelyn. Happy
Yes.
Tuesday.
And of course, letting us know where she's watching from, no?
Wimbledon finals din nung Sunday.
Sunday.
So,
Sunday.
yeah, men's finals. I think it was Djokovic
Yes.
who won.
I think
Yes.
Djokovic din, no? And
Yes.
isa na lang, no? Isa na lang for the is it September ba yung US Open? So isa na lang ma-sweep niyo yung Grand Slam from the beginning of the year, di ba?
Yes.
Australian Open, followed by the French Open, followed by Wimbledon. Yung mga 4 Grand Slams yan, di ba? And the US Open, no? So yes, it was sports field action tayo, no? The whole day. Last Sunday and Saturday, no? Yung finals din ng babae, no? Women's. Ayan, si Darmin, no? Yung kaibigan natin, si Darmin.
Darmin, good evening from Belgium. Magandang gabi, Darmin.
Yes, ayan.
Ayan. Paula Patricia Roquebet. Ayan, nag-all caps na rin si Paula. Happy Tuesday, Curvisian, Brain Attorney Donna and Sir San. Anak niya, ano ka ata parang...
Baka awayin siya niya, no? Baka awayin niya ni Emmeline Rafael dahil sabi niya, akin lang yan, all caps. Ayan, si Emmeline Rafael. Wait, we go now to Switzerland. Ganyan pala spelling ng Zurich nila, no?
Switzerland. Caroline... paano ba? Generalao, tama ba? Tama po
Caroline
ba?
Generalao. Caroline.
Generalao.
Oo.
Hindi pa po ako nakakapunta. I would like to go one day. Zurich, Switzerland. I want to go.
Thinking of Caroline, that's parang theme song ng mga Briton, di ba? Sweet Caroline, chan, chan. Pagka, di ba? They're having a good time. So, mabuhay ka Caroline, ha? Or Caroline, Generalao. Okay, attorney, mukhang tayo. We have Switzerland.
Denmark.
We have Denmark.
Watching
Mabuhay
from
kayo, ha?
Denmark. Felix Christensen. Talagang very Danish yung kanyang last name. At nakakatawa si Denmark, guys, because I met Danes nung isa sa mga holiday ko sa Spain before. And they really are very proud sa sa country nila. It's such a progressive country. Na yung, I think is employment laws nila, the fact na they don't have any political issues with the world at all. So they're quite peaceful. You don't hear them having a political quarrel with anyone else. So it was a very interesting conversation with the Dane. He's very, very patriotic. But we beat them last week, so here we are.
Yes, oo nga. Last week, di ba? Yung mga Danish, no? Pero we have a lot of Pinoy sa Denmark, so mabuhay kayo. Ang Christensen yata means the son of Christian siguro, no? Kasi meron sila Jensen, Jorgensen, kung ano-anong mga pronunciation nila, no? So, Mila, mabuhay ka. It's nice that you're watching us.
Mila, mabuhay. I want to go there one day. Nakakatawa. And
Yes.
sana makita ko yung mga naging friends ko dun sa Spain. I want to see them one day.
Little Mermaid, attorney.
They spoke very highly. Okay.
Yeah. Little Mermaid. Ano pa ba mga nasa Hans Christian Andersen yata. Danish yata siya, di ba? Hindi ako nagkakamali.
Andun ba yung Lego? Sa Denmark ba yung Lego?
Lego ba Denmark?
Yung Lego, yung
I guess so,
Lego,
yata.
yung
Yeah,
Lego.
yata. Denmark yata yung Lego. But we'll see. We'll
Denmark
double check.
yata yun.
O yan, attorney. Si Ayan.
Yes. Ayan, si Catherine. Hi, Cathy! Yes, taga Coronadal. From Coronadal, from where taga Notre Dame din yan. Hello, Donna and Sonny. Yes, tama, madaming ransomware. Madami din scams ngayon, kaya extra ingat. Absolutely. Yes. Ang dami yung pag-kinlik mo, Mr. Laragan, tapos biglang ikaw na yung naging taga-send nung sa mga contacts mo. I think that was the problem. Kinlik mo na, tapos biglang ikaw yung nagpa-spam nung
Nagpa-spam na, no?
That's one of the issues these days. But extra ingat.
Extra ingat.
Cybercrime is probably, if not at its highest these days. So,
Pinaka nakakatakot niya, masyak ka, biglang na-wipe out yung pera mo, no? Di ba? Yung parang nagulag ka, di ba? Mga ganyang cases, kaya don't give out anything, no? Well, awa na Diyos. So far, sana hindi tayo matamaan ng ganyan. But, who knows, no? But we have to be very, very, very careful. Kaya,
Again, public service advisory, if you have been a victim of any fraud or cybercrime, meron po, if you are in the UK, merong specific department ang mga police. They call it action fraud. So if you type it up online, it's called action fraud. They would take your details. They have a specific department for that. If you want to have a look at it, Mr. Laragan, normally...
Yeah. I'm having a look. Good. You told us because I never knew about it. So if it happens, di ba? Malaking bagay ito, attorney. Malaking bagay ito. Ayan. Action fraud.
There you are. That is action fraud. So you don't necessarily need to go... kasi minsan masyadong malaki po yung police department natin, no? So, hindi mo alam. This is specifically made to deal with, nakita nyo, cyber reporting, mga fraudulent crimes, scams, and all of that. So they are geared up to do that. Please, they've got an O3 number. Ipakita ko natin yung number doon. Sa taas? I think nasa taas po. Nasa taas. Let's underneath ng...
Ito. O300. Ito, O300. Ito. Ayan, kailangan makita ninyo yan para, okay, sandali lang. O300.
O300 1232040. So that is O300 140. So 24/7, may online advisors sila and all of that.
Ito, O300. Uy, para pinapatawag na ako. Hindi. Hello. Wag muna. Ayan. So, ayan. Nice, ha? At least, alam nyo, may action fraud ho. It's O300 123 2040. Ayan.
So that's the first protocol. Instead of calling you local police station, this is a specific department, a specific agency of the police geared to deal with those, and must may skill set po sila. So and I've known of people who used it in the past. So please use it kung mo kayo.
Ayan. So ano action fraud ho, no? Ayan. Reporting for a victim, a business, a witness. So, ayan. Ngayon ko lang nalaman yan, ha? So, yan ho. Kung hindi nabanggit ni attorney, hindi ko talaga malalaman. So, from now on, at least, ito, alam niyo na ho, no? Ingat ho kayo. Okay, Sofia Silverio, go ahead. Yan, okay.
Sofia Silverio pala.
Silverio.
Good evening po, Sir Sonny and Attorney Donna. Happy Tuesday po sa inyo. Happy Tuesday, Sofia.
Happy Tuesday, Sofia. Yes. Rudy Librojo. Happy Tuesday, magandang Attorney Donna and gwapong Sir Sonny and all viewers from Belfast. Magandang gabi, Rudy. Good evening, Rudy.
And Mrs. Librojo. Good evening sa inyo.
Good evening sa inyo, no? Ayan.
Separa Bernice, that sounds new. Happy Tuesday, Sir Sonny and Attorney Donna. Yan. Hello, Separa.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Ayan. So, at least meron tayo a few more and then before we yes.
Princess Sacramento, good evening, Sir Sonny and Attorney Donna. Happy Tuesday po. Happy Tuesday, Princess.
Happy Tuesday, Princess. Happy Tuesday. Ayan, Virginia Elona. Si Virginia Elona. Yung nag-invite sa atin sa Sweden.
From Sweden. Yes, good evening, Attorney Donna, Quinto, and Sonny. A blissful, Wednesday, it's Tuesday, but it's okay. It can be Wednesday as well. Good health, stay safe, and mabuhay. God bless. God bless them po.
God bless inyo,
happy Tuesday dyan sa Sweden. Ano man yun? Wednesday na po ba sa Sweden?
Hindi, same pa rin yata. No? Ahead lang sila na 1 hour yata. So, Lizzie Hobbs, ganda naman ang bati sa'yo, attorney, sa atin.
Good evening, Attorney Donna and Pogi Sir Sonny, Lizzie Hobbs. Magandang gabi, Lizzie.
Lizzie, good evening, no? Good evening sa'yo. Thank you, Lizzie, ha? Sa UK yan, si Lizzie, no?
So, UK din. Abigail Crisostomo, good evening, Sir Sonny and Attorney Donna. Magandang gabi, Abigail. Good evening, sit naman.
Ayan. Oh, ito. Napakabait.
Oliver, sorry po pala.
Oliver, oo nga naman. Oo nga. Pero hindi, ganun lang.
Natin dito.
For fun lang naman yun. Nagkatuwaan lang naman tayo. Nauna ka, Oliver. Congratulations. You're the first placer for today. Second placer yung ating kaibigang si Marian, no? But she was consistent for 4 weeks, no? So lagpas pa siya sa hat trick sa'yo, attorney. Naging 4 So mabuhay. Okay. Are you gonna be discussing something pagbalik natin? We'll have a short,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sige.
Very quickly. So I will discuss about when we go statutory implied contracts dito sa UK. So ano yung implied na? Kumbaga sa Filipino na kasabihan, ano yung given na kahit wala doon? So we're going to talk about that na in case you have a dispute, kung may hindi man kayo na you're having a disagreement about a certain contract, and you say, actually, given na yan kumbaga expected na yan. So what are these? There are certain baseline, kumbaga minimum na sinasabi ng law na these are, if you're selling goods or sometimes services, once you sell, ito ay mga given na, implied na sa mga kontrata. So even if wala sa contract expressly, or even if verbal ang yung contract, you can expect certain base rights. So these are statutory implied terms in contracts. So we'll talk about that later. Sorry.
Statutory is implied terms in contracts.
Correct.
Yun ang kompleto na. Okay.
Correct.
Alright. Huwag ko kayong alis. Saglit lang ho. At syempre, kasama natin si Attorney Danna at i-discuss niya itong statutory implied terms in contracts. Ayun, medyo mahaba.
Yeah, tongue twister din po siya.
Tongue twister. It's a mouthful, no? Okay. Okay. Huwag ko kayong alis, mga kaibigan. Saglit lang ho. At kami po ay magbabalik saglit po lamang.
%100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Mula doon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O, ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo. May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka i-evict ka na ni kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay mister o kay misis. Away tungkol sa mana, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at 2nd floor, Howard House, St. John Street, Bedford, MK42 0DJ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, welcome back sa ating program dito po sa Legal Advice Corner on a Tuesday evening ho. Yeah, happy Tuesday ho sa inyong lahat. Siyempre, kasama na naman natin yung ating abogada. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Good evening once again. Attorney, good evening.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Good evening UK, good evening Europe, good evening the rest of the world. Marami tayong mga kababayan din na outside Europe na dumadaan-daan dito sa programa natin. Like Oliver Fernandez, ang ating valedictorian today sa atin.
Yes, from the US. And then we have Europe and we have everywhere in the world, no? Philippines, meron tayong mga Middle East pa, no? So it's nice na you're welcome at nakakapanood ho kayo, no? So at least nakikialam sila, nakiki-curious siguro sila, no? They came across the show. Meron palang legal advice show dyan sa United Kingdom. So welcome mo dito sa ating program. Ayan, ito si Attorney. So
legal advice at iba pa.
Legal advice at iba pa.
We normally open with a weather report at current affairs. Ito mga kuro-kuro sa komunidad, and then we go around to health and fitness corner, and then we go to legal advice corner and mga public service advisory natin.
Yeah. Action fraud. Ano pangalan to? Attorney? Action fraud.
So I'll just repeat that again sa mga nagbabalik natin sa mga kaka-tune in lang. So if you've been a victim of any cybercrime, fraud, scams, anything that's very similar to that, instead of calling the general number, mas mabuti pong tawagan niyo po. This is a dedicated department para sa mga fraudulent crimes dito sa UK. It's called Action Fraud. May 0300 na number po sila dyan, so it's not an 08 number. So mas madali at walang extra charge po yan. So do say it sa mga kaibigan niyo, sa mga katrabaho, kapamilya, that there is a designated department. And it's called Action Fraud.
Magaling.
Yes, do that.
Good.
Meron akong kaibigan na parang nabiktima, pero nasa Pilipinas. At sabi ko, sige, i-report mo kasi yung sabi, taga dito daw, yung perpetrator. So sabi ko, report mo via email. So, pwede din yun para ma-stop na hindi na nila magawa ulit. So, they reported via emails Action Fraud. So,
okay. So, meron tayong Action Fraud. Website ho, you can just type in sa Google yung Action Fraud. I just typed it in and then this came up. No? So, ayan. Thank you very much, Attorney, for this piece of information. I actually, for the first time, found out. No? And we learn something new every day, which should be the attitude. No? Yun ang ating Okay. Attorney, so you will be discussing yung topic for tonight. You're going to be discussing ano ba tawag dito? Ito. Ayan.
Tongue twister natin,
statutory implied terms in contracts. Sige, Attorney, sige. Simulan na po niyo. Take it away.
Exactly. So, yes, when you see statutory, yan, tongue twister talaga siya eh. Statutory means by statute or by law. So ito yung sinabi ng batas dito sa UK na implied, or kahit implied means not expressed. Kumbaga, kahit hindi siya nakalagay sa kontrata nyo, kahit verbal man yung kontrata nyo, sasabihin ng batas dito, ito at the very basic, you can expect as your rights. So kumbaga sa ano natin sa ating mga sa Filipino na term, may mga given na natin na rights. So let's start with number 1. The buyer, that there is no other third party who has rights over the goods. So pag nagbebenta ka sa eBay, sa Amazon, sa kababayan mo, sa market, sa mall, etc. When you do that, kahit hindi mo sabihin, kahit hindi mo ilagay dun sa notice board mo, o sa kontrata, o sa resibo, it is implied, given na you are saying, in effect, that no one else has rights over the goods. Na free mo siyang ibenta at i-transfer yung title, kumbaga, yung kaari ng product na yon to the buyer. So, the common to do. So, sometimes, sasabihin mo, ano kasi to, kumbaga, hati kami ng ate ko, hati kami ng pinsan ko. So, if that is the case, kailangan mo talaga yan actually i-disclose by law. If you don't disclose that, you are saying, even without putting that into contract, that no other person has rights over that. So, just take note of that. So, kung later on, bumili ka, tapos may third party na nagsabi, oh, hello, excuse me, 50% ng gold na yan or ng produkto na yan ay akin dahil business partner ako dyan or hati kami, partnership kami dyan. You could say as a consumer, now according to statutes sa UK, I am protected because the seller has not told me na merong ibang third party na may rights dito, and therefore I can take it na no one else has rights over the goods. So that's the first thing. You have that peace of mind na pag bumili ka, unless sinabi sa'yo that you are buying it from a seller who's saying there's no other person who has rights over it. That's the first thing. Second thing is that the buyer will have quiet possession of goods. So very similar dun sa unang sinabi natin na you will have, pag binili mo yan, hindi ka hahabulin, hindi ka hahabulin ng isang third party na sasabi, 50% ko yan, akin yan yung kalahati yan. So implied yan. Now, when you get this, you will get this, and you will have an enjoyment of quiet enjoyment of it. It's such a legal and English legal principle, which basically means walang mga harap sa'yo, walang hahabol sa'yo. So, you don't need to put that. Pag bumili ka sa Tesco, hindi po yan nakalagay daw. You will have quiet enjoyment of goods. It doesn't have to be there. Given na yan. Na pag binili mo, iyo yan at walang manghaharas sa'yo. Now we go to the more exciting bits na we always use as lawyers. And dito na nagkakaroon ng mga argumento. The third thing is that it corresponds with the description. So makikita natin yung minsan sa eBay, sa Amazon, oh, this is the description, the size of this. May nakita ko dun dati sa meme sa nagbebenta ng bag. Tapos, ewan ko kung nilagay yung size. So, akala mo ganda-gandang bag or branded na bag, yung pala miniature. So, be very careful. Look at the description when you're buying sa mga internet, lots of internet purchases. We just talked about cybercrime, we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about all of this platform. Karamihan sa atin ngayon, dahil pandemic, bumibili sa internet, di na natin nakikita, di ba? Di na natin na-feel, di na natin natatry yung mga gamit na binibili natin, yung mga produkto na binibili natin. A lot of us are relying on description. So read it. Kasi you can rely on that it has to correspond with description. Hindi lang po yan lip service lang, kumbaga. Hindi lang yan sinabi lang dahil for nothing there. Even if hindi niya sinabi na kailangan niyang i-match yung nilagay niya dun sa product description na yon, the law actually say you have to match it. You have to correspond with what you said you were selling. So a lot of the times, yan yung ginagamit namin mga abogado. And the client says, po, ito yung sinabi, ito yung nakalagay dun sa, sa website, ito yung nakalagay dun sa, sometimes a notice, ito yung nakalagay dun sa brochure, ito yung nakalagay dun sa binigay na email sa akin. However, when it arrived, hindi yun yung nakita ko, hindi naman, sometimes they would say, oh, hindi ganito, hindi tama yung binigay na length, or sabi nila, it is red, but then it is green, and it's important for it to be green kasi the rest of the set are green, the rest ng binibuild ko na theme ay green. So that's one thing na we always use when we argue about what we call a breach of contract. Kasi sasabihin namin, yung implied, yung given na sinabi ng batas, hindi mo sinunod. So that's it. So it has to correspond with description. The next one is, again, we would think na parang common sense naman yan, Attorney Dana, bakit naman kailangan pa isulat ng batas yan? Actually, kailangan po talaga isulat ng batas kasi the number of times that we have to use this as well is quite interesting. So it has to be of satisfactory quality. So, parang, di ba, ano naman yan? Expected yan. So, in some ways, obviously, you'd want to know kung may mga depekto. Sometimes you see a website, so, not perfect quality. So, you're gonna have to use description to weigh kung ito ba ay worth it para sa'yo. But, in a way, there is still an expectation of reasonable quality, depending sa kung ano yung binibenta niya. So be very, you don't have to, the law will actually not intervene kung you're gonna buy something twice its value, but you have an expectation, you have a right to satisfactory quality. At hindi lang pwede na binenta at wala namang pakinabang yung isang produkto. So we always use that when sometimes it turns out na sobrang defective yung isang produkto. A lot about cars, a lot about yung mga gadgets, talagang ginagamit yung clause na to. So you have an expectation of satisfactory quality. Now this is interesting, and ito yung kumbaga yung practical tip ko when sometimes you have may mga customized ka na kailangan, customized na produkto na kailangan, spare parts na kailangan, that you're using a certain product for a certain purpose. So pag sinabi mo yung purpose, and when you say your purpose, I advise na ilagay nyo po in writing, text nyo, i-email nyo, kumbaga, maghanap kayo ng paper trail, gumawa po kayo ng paper trail. The law will actually imply that if you say you're using something for purpose, that seller would have to sell you something that is fit for that purpose. So pag sinabi mo, sometimes, kailangan ko ng, I'm just going to be oversimplistic. Kailangan ko ng cooking oil. They would say, kailangan ko ng oil para sa certain, a certain purpose. I need it, probably not the best example. Let's try this again. Kailangan ko ng spare parts for this particular model ng, sabihin natin, tools. You give them the model number, you give them yung picture pa, binigay mo yung resibo, kung ano tong tools na to, kung ano tong produkto na to, and you need a certain spare parts for that. Say that's the purpose. Ito yung purpose ng bibilhin ko para dyan, para sa particular product niyan. If it turns out na binigay ka nila, sorry, wala kaming wala kaming ganyan, but ito, sinend lang namin, dineliver lang namin sa'yo kasi mukhang pinsan naman yan ang hinahanap mo eh. Can't do that. That's a breach of contract because you told them specifically what is the purpose of your product. So the pro tip there, the practical tip there is if you have certain requirements, be as clear as possible. Be as explicit as possible. Purpose mo, ano yung description, ano yung kailangan mo. At gawa po tayo ng paper trail. Gawa po tayo ng ebidensya natin. So, WhatsApp man yan, Facebook Messenger, email man yan, text man yan, write it there. Write it there. Text it there. Lagyan ng picture kung ano yung talaga yung kailangan mo. Ito yung bike ko. Mr. Lara, so your bike minsan dyan sa likod ng ano mo. So, maybe you're gonna buy a certain tires or a certain, I think they used to call it the fork. So ito yung brand ng bike ko. It can only take this type of tires or this type of forks. Please, can you sell me one of those? If they sell you something na hindi pwede ikabit if they sell Mr. Laragan a fork or a tire na hindi niya pwede ikabit dun sa bike niya, that would be a breach of contract. And you can come to me and say, "Taka, sinabi ko sa kanila, tinan mo, nilagay ko sa WhatsApp, nilagay ko sa email, nilagay ko sa text, binigay ko pa yung picture ng bike plus yung description ng bike. I've been so explicit about my particular purpose." So, that's the lesson. That's a moral lesson there. Kung gusto nyong maiwasan ang mga disagreement later, you have to tell them what the purpose is and you have to provide as much evidence as possible para pag hindi nila na-deliver, you can come back and say, "Nope, I'm not gonna have this." Pengin ng reimbursement, or you can deliver what I really, you can go back to your supplier and get me what I really wanted. And that's it. Now, if services naman yung binibigay, so services, accounting, pag-abogado, when you give legal advice, you give accounting advice, even other professional or builder, mga gumagawa ng mga repairman natin, tradesman, and all of this services. There is also an implied term dyan. Kahit wala kayong written agreement. Sabi mo, kuya, paayos naman nung kitchen namin, may nasirang may nasirang cupboard or may nasirang plumbing. Paayos naman po. Kahit verbal lang yan, there is an expectation by implied term given that they have to do it with reasonable skill and care of that particular expertise. So what is reasonable skill and care? Kung ano yung expected, kung tobero man siya, o karpentero man siya, paano ba gagawin ng isang maayos na karpentero ang job na yan? So they'd have to do it with reasonable skill and care. The reason why all of this are being imposed by the law, sinasabi ng batas na okay, hindi nyo na kailangan ilista yan, given na yan, is obviously for consumer protection. Kasi mga certain rights na hindi mo na kailangan sabihin pa in order for the contract as well to be implemented para maayos na ma-implement, ma-execute in contract. These are certain rights to ensure that. So also we can have a good trading atmosphere. Now, there is a certain standard that's expected from sellers, certain standard expected from service providers. These are not only the implied terms, merong mga legalistic, very technical implied terms by law, by cases, but these are very, very good starting point. And ang moral lesson nga natin dito is number one, read the description. Basahin ang description. Pag hindi sure, magtanong po tayo, ano ba yan? Kasya ba yan sa iPhone 6 yung case na yan? Kasya pwede ba yung plug na yan, yung ano na yan sa charger na yan sa phone ko. Take a photo and all of that. Say your purpose is exactly as what I said. Send as much information as you can para ma-ensure mo na yung produkto na bibilhin mo at i-deliver sa'yo ay fit sa purpose na gagamitin mo. And most importantly, kahit hindi man yun ang nakuha mo na produkto, you don't necessarily just have to accept it. Alam mo, according to this, that you have certain rights kahit wala sa kontrata. So, seek legal advice if you think na breach yung kontrata nyo, if you think na sinabi mo naman, binigyan mo naman ng advance notice, but hindi sinunod at hindi dineliver. So there you are. That's the tongue twister of the day and the legal advice of the day, statutory implied terms and contract. Ano ba yung mga given na dito sa UK? So, negotiate well, get your description, read your description, and send as much information as possible.
Ayan, okay. Well, ito yung mga implied na, no? You don't really need, kailangan naka-spell out, attorney, gano'n ba?
Yeah, correct.
Oo.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Bumili ka ng second-hand na kotse, halimbawa, no? Bumili ka sa isang dealer, no? At tapos nagulat ka. Wala. Siyempre, second-hand, let's say 3-year or 4-year na kotse. Kung biglang after a week or 2 or less than a month, biglang may problema kagad at feeling mo hindi na yun, kailangan ba i-disclose ng na itong sasakyan may problema o may let's say you discovered it fairly new recently. Pwede mo isoli ba? Can you return yung kotse o kailangan i-repair ba nila? Ano bang i-repair na lang nila? Paano ba can you say, for example, sinabi nila may na-discover kang sira kagad after probably less than a month or couple of weeks, sabihin na lang natin. And then, parang feel mo, pwede nila ayusin kung gusto na paayos nila. Are you given that option? And if you're given that option, attorney, can you, siyempre mas gusto mo, isoli na lang yung pera ko. Pwede ba isoli yan?
You can ask that option. It depends on maraming factors yan. The first question to ask is, ano ba yung pinag-usapan nyo? Ano ba yung nakalagay dun sa description? Ano ba yung sinabi niya? Sinabi niya ba na may likely sira na ganito? Sinabi niya, no, it works perfectly fine. Walang problema at all. So, if that is the case, titingnan mo naman kung ano yung problema. Hindi lang ikaw, but you go to the garage, you ask someone na marunong sa kotse, kahit marunong ka sa kotse, you need someone independent to say, ano ba itong problema na to? The garage may say, well, actually, kumbaga, wear and tear lang to. If wear and tear siya, then hindi siya out of the extraordinary. That's what you would expect. Say, for example, for 3 or 4 years car, and sobrang minimal lang, that's slightly different compared to sasabihin ng mekaniko na, ay, ano na to? Bakit hindi sinabi sa'yo to? He would have been experiencing this problem every week or every other week. This should have been disclosed to you. So it depends dun sa evidence na ibibigay ng expert sa'yo. If the latter is the case, kung sinabi, ito dapat sinabi to sa'yo, mamumove ka dun sa last question. Tanong mo, sige, okay, kung ganun nga, ano ba, ito ba madali mong i-repair o matagal mo i-repair na kailangan mo igarahe yung kotse ng napakatagal? If they say, look, kaya ko itong i-repair within about 2 hours pero mahal siya, you can say to the other side, look, kaya niyang i-repair with 2 hours pero mahal siya. I didn't expect this. You can pay for it. And kasi sasabihin mo, mas mahirap maghanap ng bagong kotse, or pag ayaw mo na talaga, you can say that. That's the option. I don't want that option. Compared if sasabihin na naman ng mekaniko, nope, igagarahe ko to ng 4 na linggo dahil napakahirap hanapin ng parts na to, and therefore you're not going to have a car for 4 weeks. By then, your option, it's reasonable for you to say, I don't want this car anymore. This is not the car that I always wanted. I want my money back. So depende, it's a case-to-case basis. And that's the reason why meron kaming famous phrase sa law, favorite namin, a case is always decided on its facts. It will turn on its facts. So depende sa kung ano yung sitwasyon mo, ano yung mga elemento na yun. So na-breach ba? Ano ba yung rason? Gaano ba kalaki yung problema? Gaano ba kahirap ayusin yung problema? What would be the practical steps for you? Hindi lang yung legal steps, hindi lang yung, oh, gusto ko, ito yung options ko. But more so for you, ano ba yung particular circumstances mo? Baka, you're going away for 4 weeks and you don't really mind not having a car and you'd rather negotiate a better deal. So you may say, oh, I like that. Or, kailangan mo talaga yung kotse kasi araw-araw kang, yung kahit yung 2 hours na yon na wala kang kotse is very, very hard for you. So it doesn't matter na 2 oras lang, you want it back. You want your money back dahil hindi yan, it wouldn't work for you. So it depends on your particular circumstances. Kaya nga sa umpisa ng programa na to, we always say it's generic advice. If you have a particular case, it's very important that you seek particular advice for your own case. So what the moral lesson, as we always say, the practical lesson here is, at the first instance, na palang bibili ka lang, alamin mo, get proactive. Lalo na ang kotse, from my experience in terms of litigation, isa yan sa pinaka-litigious na issue ng kotse. Bibili lang ganito. Ito yung sinabi. After a few weeks, ito yung na-discover. And then we're gonna have the lawyers are gonna have, a debate about kung fit ba yan sa description, fit ba yan sa satisfactory quality, fit ba yan sa corresponding ba yan sa purpose. You don't really want that. What you want is, as much as possible, prevention is better than cure. As much as possible, alisin yung mga potential to have that debate. It's not perfect, talagang minsan may ganon. So you can ask as many questions as possible. You can do your due diligence as robustly as possible. So that, alam mo na, tanungin mo, ano ba problema dito? Pahingi ng service history, pahingi ng logbook. Tanungin mo siya kung ano yung kung ilang beses, may mga, ilang beses ka bang nagpapamekaniko. So these are the assertions that potentially you can go back on him kung talagang na-discover mo later on that it's a chronic problem. Your options would depend on yung situation. Your options would depend on how the contract was breached. There are options sometimes to return the money, to ask for the reimbursement. Minsan nga gusto pa nila yun na rin yung gawin kasi yun yung pinakamadali. Balik na lang. Kesa yung mag-away pa kayo kung kaninong garahe yung gagamitin nyo para i-repair yung kotse, kung sasabihin mo, kailangan ko ng alternative na kotse habang ginagamit yung, habang nakagarahe yung kabila. So, and then you get into another argument. So, problem solving hat on, it's better to start it right. It's better to get things right from the start, but you have options. If it's not, you have options, remedy, reimbursement, a lot of other options depending on your case, depending on your circumstances.
Ayan. So, depende, Pwedeng reimbursement, pwedeng repairs, o pwedeng mga no?
You have, in certain instances, you may have to allow them to offer kung paano nila i-address yung issue. Kailangan imbestigahan. Gaano ba kadali yan? Baka naman konting screw lang ng okay na. Hindi naman
Okay na.
Hindi ka agad ng reimbursement. Ayun pala loose lang yung screw dun sa
No.
So it depends on certain situations. So,
Okay. So, depende, Depende. It all depends. It does. Kumbaga, siya, depends on the situation, the facts, Kung anong nandiyan dyan sa harap mo, Okay. Meron ding mga meron ding mga bumibili ng properties, attorney, halimbawa kasi maraming halimbawa mga bagong developers, yung mga kunyari Taylor Wimpey, ano ba yung mga sikat yan, Taylor Wimpey, Barats, marami yan So for example, bumili ng bahay sila tapos pagtira nila maraming problema. Ayan, attorney, legal din, kailangan ng legal, O hindi na masyado?
Correct. But hindi po ito yung main na law dito. This is sale of goods and land, not necessarily for sale of goods and services, not necessarily for land. This does not affect land. If your issue is misrepresentation about land that you bought or the house that you bought, we had a session about 2-3 weeks ago, kung ano yung gagawin nyo kung nag-lie yung seller nyo in terms of property. So, yes, it is contract, but it's a slightly different principle of law. Kasi dito hindi ano lang to, goods and services. May option pa rin kayo. Meron pa rin kayong legal recourse when you do that. In the same, pero similar yung concept. You look at what's the information being provided to you. Kaya yung conveyancing process dito is you start with property information forms being sent to you by the sellers. Fittings and fixture forms being sent to you by the sellers. Kung ikaw yung nagbebenta ng bahay, sasabihin mo, ano ba to? Ang daming dokumento binigay sa akin ng abogado ko. Kailangan kong punaan. So that's the reason for that. So babalikan mo, like in your example, Mr. Laragan, ano to bakit hindi tama to, or hindi naman ito yung sinabi nila dun sa kontrata nila. Sabi nila maayos yung fittings na to, maayos yung bahay na to, maayos yung structure na to. A particular note there is you mentioned new developments. Merong tinatawag na insurance for new house, NHBC, may new house building insurance tayo. So it's an extra level of comfort para sa mga new build. However, saying that, tingnan nyo pa rin, basahin nyo pa rin po pag bumili po kayo ng bahay, if the solicitor has provided you this, what we call the pack, the seller pack, and bibigyan po kayo ng report and title ng abogado nyo. So they will report to you that this is the property that you are buying. Ito yung responsibilidad, ito yung rights, yung obligation, ito yung mga medyo hindi perfect about sa bahay. Ito yung sinabi ng seller na iiwan niya sa bahay. Iiwan niya yung mga fittings, yung lights, iwan niya yung cortina, iwan niya yung depende kung ano yung napagkasunduan niyo. So you go back to that information, to that set of information, at pag hindi tugma ang impormasyon na yun sa bahay na binili mo, you can sue them for what we call misrepresentation. If you want further information on that, you can go back. I think 2-3 weeks ago, we had an episode on that entitled, What Can You Do If Sellers Lie on Your Property Information?
Ayan, okay. All right. Okay. Attorney, okay, may tanong tayo rito, no? May tanong tayo rito, attorney. Ito, mula kay Doris, no? Alam na kung simple lang sa kanya to, pero siguro na mo problema, no? Okay. Yan, attorney, pakibasa lang.
Hi po, Sir Sonny and Attorney Dana. Maingay po yung kapit bahay ko. Sobra na po sila. Gabi-gabi na lang po ay sobrang ingay nila. Isinumbong ko na po sa police. Pero ganun pa rin po. Mga satil po at makapal ang mukha. May legal po ba akong pwedeng gawin matigil sila? Yes. Yes, Doris. There are a few options for you. Unang question ano ba yung kapitbahay mo? Ayan ba ay business or private na individual? If business, minsan pwede mo silang isumbong sa council. Sabihin mo na hindi na nagiging statutory ng nuisance, naging public nuisance na sila. At it's important as well to get evidence. So we have, I think from what my clients have said to me, may apps naman na makaka-measure kung gaano kaingay ang isang venue, ang isang place. So you can get that. Dahil merong acceptable level of noise sa umaga, sa gabi, sa madaling araw. And you can use that as an evidence kung maingay pa rin sila. Now, kung sila ay pribadong tao, the next question is, kanila ba yung lugar, or meron silang, or nangungupahan na sila. Pag nangungupahan sila, it's good to also try to contact the landlord, kasi yung landlord nila, pagsabihan, kasi meron silang kontrata. If they're a tenant, they have to behave in a tenant-like manner. Kailangan nagbigay sila ng assurance sa landlord nila via that tenancy agreement that they wouldn't cause nuisance sa mga kapitbahay nila. So pwede silang mapagalitan ng landlord nila. Also, if you're in a block of flats, the reason I said this is karamihan ng noise problem is with flats dahil pare-pareho yung mga walls natin magkakatabi. If you're in a block of flats, it's worth contacting your property manager. So yung mga block of flats dito sa England, it's normally being managed ng isang property man. Most of the time, it's managed by property managers or management companies. You better call them kasi may mga obligations yung mga flats again to behave in a tenant-like manner na hindi mag-cause ng nuisance sa isa't isa. So you can call them. You can say yung kapitbahay ko, kayo yung nagmamanage ng buong building ng kapitbahay ko maingay. It's also worth asking kung may iba kang kapitbahay na nakakaramdam ng ingay na yan. Kasi the more kayo na magbibigay ng ebidensya, the better. Saying all of that, meron ka pa rin kahit kanila yung flat, detach yung bahay nila, walang management company. You have a right under what we call nuisance. So noise nuisance is one of it. You have a civil right if they are impinging on your quiet enjoyment of your property. So kung nag-impinge na sila ng sobra sa buhay mo, sa sleep patterns nyo, yung mag-anak, you can sue them for noise nuisance, or you can get an injunction against them to stop whatever it is that they're doing. Is it a party? Ano ba yan? Party ba yan? Noise ba yan? Are they doing something maintenance? Building ba yan? Sometimes ganun yung mga example, may maintenance na ginagawa for a long time, or party ng party sila, so that's something. You get an injunction to do that. See, Mr. Laragan's favorite word, a pre-action protocol. We lawyers would have to write to them to say you are committing a noise nuisance and you are impinging on our client's quiet enjoyment of the property. You must stop this now, failing which we will apply for an injunction and may apply for damages. So, yun ang mga options mo. Lots of practical options. It's important to know first kung ano ba yung partido na to. Tenant, business, may-ari, kapitbahay mo sa flat, ano ba sila. So from there, you move forward on finding what we call the pressure points. Ano yung pressure point ng tao na to. But again, the moral lesson is meron kang rights. You have rights. Civil rights against that, not just criminal rights sa police kasi it could be harassment, but then police natin, they only have so much resources. So you still have civil rights against that. Hanap ka ng kakampi, hanap ka ng ibang kapitbahay na napiperwisyo din, at that would be the evidence that could be collated. Pwedeng sabay-sabay kayo magsabi na yung bahay na yan, hindi na talaga more than ordinary na yung noise nila. But get evidence, noise app para makita yung decibel rating nila, alas 3 ng umaga na, nakakataas pa rin. So that's it. That's really my advice to you.
Meron na binabanggit mo, no? Yun nga, itong evidence proof, no? So
Correct.
Meron akong app na nakuha, itong sound meter, attorney. Ayan, sound meter. Ayan, no?
Ayan.
Oh, yan. Sound meter. Pwede.
Hello.
Ayan, oh. Hello. Ayan, nasa red na, oh.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Malakas pala ang boses mo, attorney, na maski pa nakukuha sa earpiece ko, no? Hindi, boses ko yata to. Malakas pala ang boses ko. 1, 2, 3. Yan, magka-quiet ako, attorney. Tingnan natin kung bababa.
Tayo ng kapitbahay.
Oo nga. Pag nagsasalita ako, pumupunta sa pula. Ayan, no? Oo.
Meron po, when you say, sinerch natin to before, Mr. Laragan, there are acceptable decibel ratings for evening, for daytime, for madaling araw, weekday, weeknights, ganun. Merong yung council actually they have some reports of that. And I've seen myself, nakakita na ako ng noise report made by the council kasi isang business
Ayan, okay.
ay sinumbong.
Ito.
Mainit.
Ito merong ano rito, parang noise levels. Pero at least ito, educational din to, attorney, because kasama to sa mga, minsan, di ba, problema mo yung kapitbahay mo. No, ayan, permitted.
Actually, napakarami po. Ayun.
Ayan. So, they permitted, ano ba to? Ito pala, may nasa taas pa pala to. Ayan. At night, ito, malaking bagay ito. We can also show to them, no? Ito yung mga, okay, how councils deal with complaints about noise into their alarms. So,
Yes.
ayan. Ano ba yung mga noise levels na po pwede? Ito, statutory noise nuisance laws don't apply to noise from traffic or planes, political demonstrations. At night, ayan. Ano ba ang night? Are permitted from 11, there may also, ayan, okay. Ano to? 11 to 8, 7 a.m. Ayan. About noise above permitted levels from 11 a.m. Ano ba permitted levels?
Ayan ang permitted levels natin.
So 34 dBA if the underlying level
Decibels,
dBA, decibels. Oo. Okay, then ayan. May mga penalties pala. So, pwede pala.
Maraming options.
Sino ba ito? Si Doris yata to. Marami palang Doris, ayan, maraming ways, no?
Marami tong options.
Pero meron kasing sutil Meron siguro mga makakapalang mukha talaga siguro. Tama yan, no? Sinasabi niyo.
Kung nangungupahan sila, sumbong mo sa landlord.
Sa landlord mo sumbong. Ayan, sa
Sumbong mo
landlord.
sa landlord.
Okay.
Maano yan, ma-English yung landlord sa kanila.
Ayun, okay. Ayan, okay. So thank you very much, Doris, for that question, because that is very common sa ating mga yung mga magkakapitbahay o sa mga, sabi mo, kung business sa council din, no? Kung sakasakaling may business within din, no?
Council. Yes,
Okay.
they tend to be actually stricter pag negosyo.
Pag negosyo. Okay. Okay, so ito siguro mga pagbati lang siguro. Si Edgardo, attorney, no? Ayan, before we say goodbye, no? Sa ating show.
Yeah.
Tayo magpaalam. Ito.
Edgardo Cagahaschan Enriquez, the one who coined the Happy Tuesday. Good evening, Mr. LARAGAN. DANNA, QUINTO. A warm and happy Tuesday to all. Good evening, Edgardo. Ang ganda ng garden ni Edgardo. Parati ko nakikita sa my day niya. Nakakatuwa.
Wow, Edgardo, grabe, talaga naman, no? But he has this, parang green thumb siguro, no? Garden niya, Ako, wala ako niyan,
Ano tawag mo, Edgardo? Plantito ba yun? CPA, Certified Plantito Accountant. Yun daw ang bagong meaning ng CPA.
Why plantito? Plantito from the plants? Plantito because of the plants?
Plantito. Yun na po yung mga tawag sa mga mahilig sa mga halaman niya. Mga plantito at mga plantita.
Edgardo, mabuhay ka. He was the guy who was responsible for itong mga Tuesday na to, Happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
It started with Tuesday, no? Bago naging Happy Thursday na, Happy Wednesday, no? So mabuhay ka, Edgardo, mabuhay. Okay, last but not the least, no? Yan.
Juliet Alviedo Marcelino, good evening, Sonny and Attorney DANNA. Happy Tuesday to all viewers. Happy Tuesday, Juliet.
Okay. May another message dito si okay, thanks. Pero hindi pa lumalabas dito. Sabi ni Edgardo, thanks, Attorney DANNA, Certified Plantito Accountant. Ito, lumabas na. Ito na siya. Certified Plantito Accountant. Mabuhay ka, Edgardo, ha? Oo, mabuhay itong ating kaibigan si Edgardo. He's maraming alam to, Okay. Alright. Well, ayun. Maraming salamat. It's been a wonderful evening na naman, no? Evening na ho kasi ngayon, although mataas pa ang araw. Mataas pa ang araw. Oo. Ano plano, attorney? What are the plans? Wala ka bang you went to your friends recently? Itong mga kaibigan mo, kababayan mo?
Opo.
Sorry?
Mahirap pang mag-travel. Napakahirap mag-travel. So,
okay.
ano po muna, bisita muna sa mga kaibigan lang or what's allowed. So, until we're allowed to fly a bit more freely, siguro.
Uy.
Parang
talking of flying, may good news na yung mga amber countries yata, so long as you're double jabbed, no, o vaccinated, parang mas maluwag-luwag ng konti na, no? Oo, which is now has given us enough, parang parang na-excite kami na we had to rebook now. Sana hindi ma-cancel na naman. Because
Sana hindi na.
we've been rebooking
Yun
and
ang kwento natin this year. Nag-book, pero nag-cancel.
nag-cancel. Oh, many times, attorney. Many times now. We've had many attempts of traveling, going out of for the country, well, to Spain, pero na-cancel siya.
Yes.
Sana umayos na to. Sana ano na, no?
Yeah.
What do you think? Ikaw ba, are you still wearing masks? Ikaw ba, how are you now? Because starting
When
Monday,
I go out, public places po.
Oh, public places, oo.
Ano naman ata, yung mga grocery, coffee shops, mga I think definitely pag grocery, naka-mask pa rin. Indoor taxi, ganun, naka-mask pa rin. But ewan ko, ano ba sasabihin ng Mr. Boris Johnson sa 19th? Hindi na ba? Ano ba?
Wala
Hindi
na-
ba
wala.
kailangan? No one knows. what he's going to say.
oh, yesterday there was di ba? Ano lang yata, wala nang mask pero if you're in public places o halimbawa sa mga public transportation, you still have to wear your mask, no? Although may mga cases pa rin, hindi pero yun nga sinasabi na this is really itong vaccinations natin malaking bagay ang because it's also preventing deaths, no? Talagang kung at this time last year mas maraming mga cases than deaths, no? Or comparative year to year comparison, or this time last year mas marami. Pero yun nga, let's hope and pray na lalong ma-speed up yung vaccination. 80% yata in terms of, or 80+% for the first vaccination, 60+ for the for the second vaccination. Tapos ka na ba, attorney?
Tapos na po, double dose na. Naka-double dose.
Maswerte ka, no? Kasi simula pa lang ng first dose mo, meron ka ng schedule ng second dose, no? Whereas during the time, nag-aalanganin ako, no? Kung saan ako, kailan, because meron akong trip na papunta ng Spain, I think, first week of June. Tapos yung nagme-May na, wala pa akong vaccination. Baka mamaya, i-vaccinate ako after nung, bigyan ako ng date after nung nakabook ko ng June, no? Which is hindi natuloy, no? So we had to rebook, cancel many times, 4 or 5 times. So, dito na muna tayo, locally tayo, no? Local traveling muna.
Dito na muna tayo sa Legal Advice Corner. Dito ako pupunta ako sa Switzerland, Sweden, Washington.
Dito na lang sa ating show. Tama ka, napunta tayong Denmark. Napunta tayong Denmark, napunta tayo ng iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo, no? Kaya mabuhay, thank you. Kamukha ni Caroline General from Switzerland, no? Zurich. Yung pala yata spelling ng Zurich, may E yung Zurich nila, no? Kaya pala Liechtenstein. Zurich, hindi naman Zurich, di ba? I'm going to Zurich.
Yeah,
Hindi naman I'm going to Zurich. Zurich.
Zurich, yeah.
Kaya pa yung Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein, yeah.
Tama ka naman kasi I'm going to Zurich. Di ba? You don't hear people saying I'm going to Zurich. I'm not going to Zurich. Di ba? Zurich.
Parang parang Norwich. Naka sa
Norwich.
And then naka Zurich.
Hindi kasi Norwich yun eh. Pero ito hindi dapat Norwich, di ba? Norwich, pero Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich.
Ito, ano pa nga na ito, attorney? It's Zurich, no? Zurich. Well, yun pa lang napunta ako sa I have just been to Zurich, sa Lucerne. Yung may isang lugar sa Switzerland na puro roses, yung town nila, yung parang they call it, nakalimutan ko na. Wow, nakalimutan ko na. Puro roses yun. It's known for its roses. Nakalimutan ko na. But Lucerne and Zurich. I want to go to Geneva. I would like to go to Bern, which is where we have the embassy in Zurich. We just had Ambassador Dennis Yap Lepatan yesterday.
Very good.
Doon na lang. Pwede na tayo mamasyal.
Tayo, Ambassador.
Retiring na siya sa December. So, last post na niya yata yan until December. So, mabuhay mga ambassadors. And, ma-interview namin in Tagalog. Yung bagong ambassador ng UK to the Philippines.
Galing. Very good.
Ma-interview ayan, si Peps Villanueva. Just like when we interviewed the ambassador ngayon, si Ambassador Robert Prus, na nasa UK, nasa Pilipinas, pabalik na yan, re-recall na siya. Yung papalit, babae. Na-interview namin si Ambassador. Babae. Na-interview namin si Ambassador Robert Daniel Cruz in Tagalog. Tagalog.
Galing, galing,
Tagalog.
nakakatawa. Ano pong pangalan? Ano pong pangalan ng bago nating ambassador?
And hindi ko pa ma-share pa muna ngayon. Pero
Ay, bawal pa. Okay, bawal pa. Sorry.
hindi naman, okay na siya. Nakapangalan na yan.
Sorry.
Hindi na, okay naman. But we're gonna interview her. But soon as she's there in the Philippines then. At saka we're gonna meet her. Meron pa kaming, hopefully magkakaroon kami ng date with the ambassador, no? The next ambassador. So it's nice. Ikaw ba, curious ka ba nakilalanin kung sino yung ambassador ng UK sa Pilipinas, di ba? Siyempre, kailangan natin and let's say hello to her, no? Sige, attorney, pag we might have her and then we might have the next one, no? The former one, we might have him and find out kung kumusta naman ang kanyang stint sa Pilipinas. Okay, well, sige, well, attorney, baka may mga mensahe ka. Is there anything na, or probably where to get in touch with you? At magpaalam ka na rin siguro sa ating mga kababayan. Go right ahead, attorney.
Yes po, you can email me at d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Again, that's d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Or you can call me at 01234-225-188. Again, that's 01234-225-188. And as we always say, keep safe, keep well, and thank you very much. Maraming salamat. It's always a pleasure to come back home to Legal Advice Corner. And it's always a pleasure na around the world trip tayo sa mga kababayan natin. Saying hello via Arolco every Tuesday. Stay safe po kayo kahit nasan man po kayo, and thank you as always for tuning in.
Yes, katulad din sinabi ni attorney, maraming salamat for being there and being a part of our program, no, and keeping us company. And as always, share this to your friends dahil ito ho'y importante, malaking bagay doon sa mga bagay-bagay, especially sa law dito sa United Kingdom, no. Pero kung kayo taga ibang lugar, syempre welcome ho kayo. Kaya yun ang sinabi ni attorney, saan man kayo bahagi ng mapa-Europe, mapa-Pilipinas, welcome mo. So, sa ngalan ni Attorney DANNA Quinto for Legal Advice Corner, Sonny LARAGAN here saying thank you very much. Have a safe evening. God bless and good night. So, take care. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you. So you can be there for them.